There we go. All right, it didn't work the first time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Bar None warriors, this is Chris, and of course, this is my channel, Bar None 11970. As always, I thank you all for taking the time to hear what I have to say. And ladies and gentlemen, we have some new information as far as the WikiLeaks. Basically, what they're saying at this point is that President Obama, Barry Soetoro or Sotoro, um, is not as innocent as he claims, saying that he knew nothing about Hillary's server. Now, if you've been following the hearings about what was going on and trying to expose this fraud, supposedly, I think they were just putting on a play to amuse the people because no one was thrown in jail, no crimes were actually found, and evidence was destroyed. But if you followed it like I have, you would know that our Congress and House Representatives were basically subpoenaing certain individuals that were connected with the Hillary email servers and the FBI, and a lot of emails were destroyed, lost, or not presented. And you had people like President Obama saying that he had no idea that she had a private server, which right there in itself is pretty sad that our commander-in-chief doesn't know that his Secretary of Defense is not using a private server. Now, what we're learning in government is that they tell you one thing, and then there's the truth. And I was wondering, what is it going to take to expose the fraud and for the average person to wake up? Now, if you watched Trump's latest video today, he was live. I don't know what state he was in at this point, but it doesn't matter. He said, and he says on several occasions, that the government system, the voting system, and the media is rigged. So how do we expect all of the people who want Donald Trump to become president if he himself is admitting that the system is rigged? But if you know about the new WikiLeaks, the new emails that were supposedly lost were placed out thanks to WikiLeaks, which, by the way, our government and people like Hillary Clinton say we should drone the embassy where he is basically being protected. And numerous government officials, both Democratic and Republican, have said that people like Julian Assange are terrorists and basically should be shot. They've said this publicly. You could look it up yourself. So we, the people, see him as a hero. And it goes by labeling by who's doing the labeling. Like, for example, if you were in the days of Robin Hood, whether that was a true character or just a fictional one, let's just pretend it's fictional because it doesn't matter. Well, if you were the king of Nottingham, you would have seen Robin Hood as the enemy, as basically a terrorist. But if you were the people, you would see him as a savior and a hero. So the labeling of somebody, it depends on who's saying it. So our corrupt government, which is proven time and time again, is corrupt. What a surprise. I've been saying this for years, and some people have been saying it a long time, longer than I have, are saying people like Julian Assange are terrorists and should be murdered. There is a video where Hillary Clinton says he should be droned. And yet all they're doing is exposing what our own government will not show. Our FBI is covering for Hillary Clinton. They have destroyed evidence. They have bleached it. Now, not using actual bleach. There's a program they call Bleach Pit or something like that, where it supposedly permanently erases emails. They destroyed laptops and Blackberries that she was using. People covered up for her. And yes, there are people being drawn in to, be subpoenaed and give their, investigation and being quote unquote interrogated, even though they're not. It's just a show. No one has been prosecuted. The people have gotten immunity. And yet people like Julian Assange, who's the hero of us people, is putting out new information all the time, exposing the emails that they thought were destroyed. And where's the media coverage? I mean, I'll give credit where credit is due. Fox News is the only one that I've seen, and if there are others, please let me know. But Fox News is the only one that is even mentioning and reading the emails. And one of the latest emails that they're talking about is that when a certain person, I forget his name, that works in the government, works for Hillary Clinton, was subpoenaed to show emails, that very day he sends an email stating about, they label it as POTUS, but it's President of the United States. They put it as POTUS. And they were saying how they need to get rid of and hide those, and basically saying that the president should be protected because he's the president. I don't have the exact words. But it's showing these emails that were supposedly destroyed, which our government did no job trying to get. We had to get some person that's not even an American citizen to get these emails and put them out, connecting the president to, well, supposedly, because it's not an email from Obama himself. So we have to be, truthful. I'm not sitting here saying there was an email between Hillary and the president, Barack Obama, or Barry Soetoro. What I am saying is there are people who, the day after they got subpoenaed, were sending emails talking about how they needed to hide certain emails that were destroyed, supposedly. And you see that our government is lying. You see the media is lying. And lying is not always telling a lie. It's not mentioning the truth. And the people still think this is going to be a fair system, that the people's votes will actually win the day. And I would love to know why. What is it going to take for the people in this country to wake up? I mean, this has got to be embarrassing. I mean, the whole world is watching this stuff. And I get emails all the time from people that live outside the United States corporation, dumbfounded by the fact that the people just don't seem to care. And the ones that seem to do think that because they may be honest, that the voting and election system is going to be fine. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be full of integrity. I showed a video yesterday that, of course, will never go viral because my videos don't. But it's helping to expose live video footage of people who work for the Clinton Foundation who were telling people that it's okay to rip up Republican registration forms. And nobody is in an outrage. I mean, what is it going to take? I mean, does it literally have to take a live camera of Hillary Clinton with a gun, pointing it and shooting it at a baby, at a kitten, and at a priest, and then rape a turtle on live TV, and then admits after she does all of these things that she'll do it again because she's untouchable? Will that make us get an actual uproar? And you see, even on the Republican side, when they had all these congressional hearings, and they were supposedly, subpoenaed to give information, yeah, they'll say, oh, we're disappointed, or, yeah, we know you're working around the system and you're pleading the fifth for everything, but they're not doing anything. They can be outraged all they want, but they're getting away with this? Good luck if any of you, us ordinary people, do remotely anything close to this. How fast you'd be thrown in jail. You probably wouldn't even get a fair trial. And yet our FBI is basically saying, if you are a Clinton or you are a high government official, you can do things that us peasants cannot do. While we will get in trouble, while we will get thrown in jail, while we'll be ostracized, they will get nothing. She's getting rewarded by becoming our next president. I've said that for over a year now. They selected her. And Donald Trump, whether he is in on the game or he is being 100% sincere, will not be president. And I'm not saying that because I don't want him to. I mean, he is the lesser of two evils, but make no mistake, the lesser of two evils is still evil. But he points out all the time that the media is corrupt. What do you think he's going to do? Shut down the media when he becomes president if he did? It's so sad that the average American out there still thinks this system is going to work fine. There have been proven voter fraud. There's proven corruption in our media. There's proven corruption in the DNC. There's proof of people in government, in the FBI, that are hiding evidence and protecting a political candidate. Not both, only one. And they're trying to say, well, we can't prosecute her. Well, basically, they said no one in their right mind would prosecute her. So basically, the FBI, the man in charge, I don't remember his name, nor do I care. I'd label him traitor. That's the name I'd give him. The leader of the FBI is a traitor to the American people. But he basically said that no one in their right mind would prosecute her. So he didn't say she didn't do anything wrong. But then we have all this evidence being erased, subpoenas being ignored, and yes, they'll go in front of the House of Representatives and they'll say all their things and they'll dodge every question and say, oh, I don't recall, or I don't believe, or I'm not sure, or it's not my department, or it's not my job, or they'll always point the finger to someone else. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody is being punished. And Hillary Clinton is still running for president, which proves to me what I knew over a year ago, that she was selected to become the next president. What is it going to take for the regular people in this world, or at least in this country, because the rest of the world doesn't have votes, unless you come here illegally, then they'll allow you to vote, if you vote Democratic. But, I mean, the rest of the world is mocking us, and I don't blame them. At this point, anybody that lives outside the United States, you have the right to absolutely mock the American people and their stupidity of not wanting to change this corruption. Do people forget the first 3 words of a very important document that has basically started this and founded this country? Let me remind people of what those 3 words are. It's we the people. This government was supposed to be founded as a republic where the people can actually decide their own fate based on the voting of the mass amount of the people for what they wanted. And now we've bowed down to our slave masters and allowed these small amount of wealthy people to dictate what we do, to the point where they can do the very thing that throws us in jail, and they get rewarded by becoming president. The document doesn't start out, we the government, or we the few, or we the privileged. It's we the people. And now they want you so politically correct, they want you to be so afraid to say anything that you'll just shut your mouth, and you'll stay silent. And there are still plenty of people, even people that listen to my channel, who appreciate what I say. They still are choosing to be silent. I don't know why. I guess they want to wait until World War III does happen and they could say, oh crap, boy, did I make a mistake. Well, too late then. Like the song says, it's too late to turn back now. Well, we're not at that point yet. It's we the people, ladies and gentlemen. It's supposed to be that the government is supposed to do what we say, not the other way around. Why are we allowing it? Because that's what it is. Law is based on consent. Our lovely document that starts out with we the people is based on the consent of the governed. And if you do not consent, and enough people do not consent, that constitution no longer stands. But your silence is the same as agreeing. I've said this numerous occasions. People are consenting to this. Why? Because when you want to vote for Donald Trump and why you want to think your votes are actually going to work, you're giving your consent. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you register to vote, and I love that word register. You ever buy a product? Let's say you bought a DVD and they mailed it to you. What's one of the things when you open the box? One of the cards that you will find in that box? It's a thing that you could mail in to do what? To register your product. Well, if you look on the back of your DVD player or Blu-ray player, you'll see a number on it to identify that particular item. Well, you have a Social Security number. So is it any wonder they want you to register? So they basically want to say, we're not sure if you understand that when you label yourself a citizen, the legal definition of citizen means you are basically a slave through your own consent. So when you go to register to vote, and when you go to vote, one of the first things they're going to ask you is, are you a U.S. citizen? So basically they're saying, all right, we've said this so many times, and we want to make sure again, based on your own free will, because we're not going to put a gun to your head, are you a U.S. citizen? And you say, oh, well, I don't really understand what that means. I guess that must mean, do I live in America? So I'll write yes. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So because of the fact that you volunteered your servitude, which is what the 13th Amendment is all about, the 13th Amendment doesn't protect you, and you're doing it voluntarily. It's not involuntary servitude. They didn't put a gun to your head and say you have to check it. So I love the fact that people are going to go register to vote. So you're registering. You need your Social Security number, your product ID number, and you're going to register yourself, confirming, once again, when you think your vote counts, that you're a product slave to the system, and the 13th Amendment does not protect you. I don't know what it takes for people to understand this. That's why I'm not going to vote. That's why I did not register to vote. And anybody out there that says, oh, you're not doing your part, has no clue how this system really works. So if you want to register yourself as a product, make sure you give them your identification number, and make sure you don't know what the 13th Amendment is all about, because the 13th Amendment legally defines slavery as involuntary servitude. When you go and click the box or check the box that says, are you a U.S. citizen, and you don't know that the legal definition of the word citizen is a person, and if you look up the legal definition of person, it is a corporation with some of the rights of a human being. You are actually, through the ignorance of the law, because ignorance of the law is no excuse, and doing it with your own servitude, telling the government, please take my life, please control my life, I am a slave, and I need you to take care of me. So good luck going to register to vote and telling the government yet again, you're a slave to the system. You're volunteering your servitude. So you're going to place your votes for Trump, and you're going to sit back and say, well, I did my part. I'm a real American. I really care. And when Hillary still becomes president, you're going to be outraged. You're going to be pissed off. And guess whose fault that is for not listening? So the new WikiLeaks is exposing the fact that Obama supposedly is more aware of Clinton's private server than he led to believe, which means your president-in-chief, your commander-in-chief, the representative of the people, might not be as honest as you say. Ooh, there's a shocker. Someone in government not being honest. Media's not talking about it. And it's kind of shocking that I say that Fox News is the only channel so far that's actually at least talking about it. But I don't trust them any further than I can throw them. Again, I've said this before. When you have 99 pounds of ice cream and you mix in 1 pound of crap, what do you have? You have 100 pounds of crap. So it doesn't matter if 99% of something is good. If that 1% taints the whole thing, well, they have to have something good to get you in. Because if Hillary Clinton was going to be out there saying, you know what, I'm going to steal from you, I'm going to rob from you, we're only going to make sure that the wealthy people are fine, all the people that are poor are going to end up in FEMA camps, and we're going to start World War III, we'll be safely in our bunkers while you melt away, come vote for me, no one's going to vote. Like you watch any mafia movie, they're always talking about keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And the person that will murder you in the mafia will be your best friend. Why? Because you trust them. So do you think anybody in government is going to lie to you? Of course. You think anyone in government is going to tell you the truth? No. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to pretend they care. They're going to kiss your baby. They're going to visit that poor neighborhood. Or when there's an earthquake or a tragedy, they're going to visit to show how much they care. And then you'll never see them again unless you think the votes count. And yeah, that's true. Corey says you shouldn't throw anybody with your bad back. That's true. I'll just kick him then. And Corey, I'm glad you're still watching. I would have to say he actually said something pretty funny the other day because I didn't realize it until he pointed it out. That he was saying, I forget what video, it was either the last video last night or the night before, where I was saying the word ladies and gentlemen so many times, and he said, you could do a drinking contest on it. And I didn't think about it until I watched it. And yeah, I think I said ladies and gentlemen like about 75 times, so I thought that was kind of funny. So it's good to know you remember about my back, so thank you for that. What he's referring to is I actually have a couple of ruptured discs that go up and down my spine. So even standing is a fun thing. But you know what? I still DJ. I still do my massages. Still got to do what I got to do. So he's right. I probably won't be throwing too many people, but I'm glad you're watching, my friend. So we got voter fraud. It's been exposed. We have corruption in the government. We have one of our representatives, quote unquote, Donald Trump, admitting on numerous occasions that the system is rigged. And yet we're going to keep waving our flags. We're going to go and register our votes. And we're going to think, oh, I made a difference. And as somebody like me who's not going to go and vote, you're going to say, oh, you're not doing your job. It's your fault he's not president. Really? Does anybody understand what divide and conquer is? It's all about getting the masses to fight amongst themselves so we don't pay attention to the people that are in charge who are the minority. And Corey says, not only do I remember, but it was a line of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm not sure what line you're talking about. And I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. There's not much I can say. How do people think your votes count when it's been proven? Hillary Clinton should not even be as far as she is because they just happen to forget thousands of Bernie Sanders votes. The DNC with the WikiWheel, the WikiLeak emails proved that they were all in on Hillary, and no matter what, they wanted to make sure Bernie Sanders didn't get anything. And yet, last I checked, didn't Bernie Sanders just buy his third house recently? Wonder where he got all that money from. Could it be all the donators that donated all money to his campaign? All the suckers who believed everything he said? What is it going to take for people to say no more? It's embarrassing. You should be embarrassed. And the rest of the world is laughing and mocking us. And you know what? For a while I was defending American people until I realized when I go out in the quote-unquote real world, people talk about, oh, what's Beyonce doing? And oh, did you hear about Caitlyn Jenner? And oh, we have the politically correct PC police. I hope they make a bathroom for all genders. Now, I'm all for freedom of choice, but not for nothing. If they're going to try and create a law that says a person can, on any given moment, identify themselves as any sex they want, if I had a 4 or 5-year-old girl, do you think I would let her go into a bathroom knowing that a potential rapist can say, I identify as a woman and be allowed to be in a bathroom legally? Do you not realize how many people will take advantage of things like that? And I don't know if this is true, but I saw somebody place an executive order that President Obama just signed recently. So somebody could check this, please do, where they're saying they want to make the national anthem illegal in schools. And there are, the whole football thing where there are plenty of people taking a knee when they do the Pledge of Allegiance. There are now, I don't remember her name, but there was an African-American singer who was saying that they would not sing the national anthem anymore and say it needs to be changed. This is the new country they're trying to create, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go. Take a shot. I said, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's happening. They're stealing the country from us. And, keep watching football, keep having your drinking parties, keep ignoring these things. I've been talking about this for 5 years or so. And I remember when I first started, and yes, there were a lot of crazy things I was talking about back then, because when you first enter this system of quote-unquote truth, you have to first weed through what's real and what's not. And it's a little crazy to go from thinking the world is wonderful to all of a sudden, falling down that rabbit hole. So I can admit there were plenty of things I wasn't sure what was real and what was not. But I've been warning people about the government being corrupt for years. I was constantly attacked, being called a crazy conspiracy theorist. I was paranoid. I didn't know what I was talking about. I should be wearing the tinfoil hats. You know what? I don't hear that much anymore. Maybe once every 20 videos I'll get somebody that makes that kind of statement, when it used to be 20 comments per video. We need people to pay attention to this. So I'm not sure what it's going to take. But if we allow this to happen and Hillary Clinton becomes president and all these things continue and they set a precedent. Because who's the next Secretary of State? What if they do it? What if the president does it? And they just make private servers and they could talk to whoever they want. They could have foundations where people can quote unquote donate to those foundations instead of saying, here, I want a certain thing done. Here's $100,000 because that's bribery. They could say, here, I need something done. And they say on a private server, oh, just donate to my charity. And then we'll get all those things done. So, you guys talk amongst yourselves. My other video that I made yesterday, I want those who care. They can either do my video or the one that I sent the link to. And I hope people watch the whole video, and I hope they subscribe to them too, because this is not about me, it's about the message. So if you want to share my video or that person's or anybody else's, or make your own, I don't care. But I want people to take that video or take any video that exposes those frauds and place it on Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, all their social medias, and keep doing it until they actually acknowledge it. And if somebody like, for example, Donald Trump has all that information and says nothing, that should tell you everything. Stop thinking he's the hero. I give him credit for saying things that no one else has ever said. But make no mistake, in my opinion, due to this corruption and due how the media is all in on Hillary, due to the fact that no matter what Hillary and her people have done, no one's been prosecuted, they are going to make sure she's in the White House. Unless we do something. We the people. I don't know how much plainer I can put it. So, November's right around the block. It's right around the corner. And I find it ironic because my birthday is November 9th. That's the reason why my channel is Barn on 11970. November 9th, 1970. That's my birth date. So, on my birthday, I'll be finding out that I was right all along. And I hope I'm wrong. That'd be a great birthday present. But I guess we'll find out. But we still have time. That ball has not dropped yet. It's in the air. It's falling. We can catch it. We can get out of its way. Or we could just let it fall on us. So, you guys do what you want. But if you live in this country, do something. Don't vote. You're not gonna. It's not gonna matter in voting fraud. Guess we'll find out. So thanks for watching as always. I hope you all have a great day. Leave your comments. Hit subscribe. Definitely hit the like button. And please, please, if you care, please share it. And say it with me. Don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Appreciate all those that took the time to comment. Have a wonderful day.